Hey! Teacher check! Blagag! Hey! Teacher check! For today's video, meron naman tayong bagong lesson at ang lesson ito ay on the properties on the operations on the set of integers. Ito yung sinasabi nilang mga closure, commutative, associative, ano pa nga ba, identity, inverse, at distributive property. So, I will share now my PowerPoint presentation and sit back, relax, and watch. And vote for the bonus questions. So, nandito na tayo sa week 4. So, definitely ang gamit natin ay module 4. At ang gamit nating module ay ito. Yan. Na-download ko yan sa link na binigay ng division office natin. Ganyan yung itsura niya. At ito yung ito yung module natin for this week. Okay, so before that, let me tell you the objectives of our module. After going through this module, you are expected to illustrate the different properties of operations on the set of integers. They are the closure property, commutative property, associative property, distributive property, identity property, and inverse property. Buti pa siya may property. Tao, 1.5. Identity or identify properties of operations on the set of integers used in the given statements. Okay, so ito yung expected na mangyayari after we go through with this module. Okay, let's begin. Before that, let's have a recall on the operations on integers. 12 plus 15. Ana? Correct. It's 27. Okay, how about 12 plus negative 5? Correct again. It's positive 7. They are having unlike signs. This one, subtraction. Take note of the keep, change, add rule. So, negative 4 minus 1, you have? Correct. It's negative 5. How about if you have the multiplication? They have unlike signs. So you have 4 times negative 9, negative 36. Correct. How about if you have negative 6 times negative 6? They have the same sign. Positive 36. Correct, sis. How about if you have division this time? 40 divided by negative 8. Negative 5. Correct. They have unlike signs, so their quotient is a negative number. If they have like signs, then positive. Ganun. So, alam nyo na yan. Today, we will be having the properties on the operations on integers. As I have said earlier, these are the properties that we are going to have in them. So the closure property says that, ano nga the closure property, ma'am? Siyempre, no closure property, iyarig tayo mo lang ti tao deta. No ni tatam ket tao, sa ninanam ket tao, ano nga di anak da? Aso? Wrong. Diba? No tao, sa tao, the answer naman lang kut. Siyempre, tao. Ganun kung ano yung puno, siya rin ang bunga. Hanaw baling nga digit tao, kung may sa tao, ti anak da animal or aso. Wrong. That's ekis. Dapat tao lang. So the closure property says that two integers that are added and multiplied remain as integers. The set of integers is closed under addition and multiplication. So, no subtraction and division, it may not be the same as addition and multiplication. Kasi there will be the tendency that you will be having zero or undefined like that. So the closure property of addition for real numbers states that if A and B, take note, A and B are symbols of any number. So are real numbers, then A plus B is a unique real number. For example, this one, 15 plus 16 equals 21. We know that 15 is an integer. And 16 is also an integer. So, an integer na duwa, therefore, their sum is also an integer. Hindi siya pwedeng maging fraction or decimal kasi integer yung pinag-plus mo dito, sis. So, 21 is a real number. How about if you have a multiplication? Closure property of multiplication for real numbers states that if A and B are real numbers, then A times B is a unique real number. So, for example, this one, 26 and 12. We know that 26 is a real number and 12 is a real number. Buti pa siya real. Yung friend mo hindi real. Char. Okay, so yung 26, it's a real number. And 12 is a real number. So expect that their product, 312, is a real number. Gets? Gets mo, sis? Correct. Dapat mag-gets mo. Let's proceed to the second one, the commutative property. So let's have an example. A student who is preparing for her class. Siguro king ka, umuna ka nga mangan. Sa kantog digos. Isumot lang nga iso, no, nagdigos ka, sa kanto, mangan. It's still the same kasi you are both preparing for the class. Okay. So, before you have your class, you have to prepare for your class. Syempre, it's either you eat first and then take a bath, or take a bath, then eat your breakfast. So, it's still the same. Agpadada lang CC. Kasi, you are both preparing for your class. Baka si kangagkoy buya, inopen mo malata module mo, nag-online class ka malatan, di ka pa nagdigos. Ekisis. Dapat presentable. Learn. So, commutative property is based on order. Take note of the word order. Changing the order of two numbers that are either being added or multiplied does not change the value. So, let's have A and B as any real number. A plus B is equal to B plus A, or A times B equals B times A. Let's have examples for addition and addition. So 2 plus 3 equals 3 plus 2. Since 2 plus 3 equals 5, and also 3 plus 2 equals 5. Deta. So balik-balik ta rin mo man ang mundo, yun din ang sagot. Ganun. Also, if you have negative 16 plus negative 5, it is the same as negative 5 plus negative 16 kasi they have negative what? Negative 21 as their sum. Okay. If you have also 100 plus 99, it is the same as 99 plus 100 because their sum is still the same, which is 199. So let's have the fourth example. It's multiplication this time. 2 times 3 equals 3 times 2, since 2 times 3 equals 6, and also 3 times 2 equals 6. And then, negative 4 times negative 15 equals negative 4 times, negative 15 times negative 4. It's still the same because their product is what? Correct. It's positive 60. Kahit baliktarin mo man yan, yun din at yun din ang product niya, sis. Okay, so let's have another example. If you have 10 times 25, it's the same as 25 times 10 because we know that their product is 250. Take note that subtraction and division are not commutative. Bakit? Okay, example. Bibigay ako. 5 minus 3. That's 2. Pag binaliktad mo yan, 3 minus 5, what's the answer? Is it still 2? Wrong. Correct. Kasi, wrong, correct. Wrong. Hindi sila magkapareho. Kasi, it's negative 2. 5 minus 3, it's 2. And 3 minus 5, it's negative 2. Hindi sila magkapareho. Therefore, it does not commute, or it is not commutative. Let's proceed to another example on division. For example, you have 4 divided by 2. We know that 4 divided by 2 is 2. Pag binaliktad mo yon, 2 divided by 4, that's not 2. That's 1/2 anymore. So, they are not commutative. Gets? Yung commutative lang ay yung addition at multiplication. Let's proceed to the next property, the associative property. Parang yung klase natin na may blended learning, ganun. Sometimes, other students prefer to have cell phone and data or Wi-Fi. Then, they maududi laptopon. It is still the same as having the Wi-Fi and then the laptop and then the mobile phone. Okay lang. The same lang yan kasi you both get the idea, or you both get the idea and you both get the essence of the lesson through these gadgets in the new norm. Learn. So take note that associative property is based on groupings. Kanina, yung commutative order, balibaliktaran lang. Ito naman, groupings. So, changing the groupings of numbers that are either being added or multiplied does not change its value. For example, this one. Open and close parentheses, A plus B plus C equals A plus, open and close parentheses, B plus C. Yung una, yung A at B yung magka-group. Hindi nila ka-group yung C. Pero, sabi niya, the same lang daw pag hindi nila ka-group yung A at kayo naman yung B at C yung magka-group. Okay, so A times B times C is also equal to A times the quantity B times C. Like that. Example, this one. The quantity 2 plus 3 plus 4 is equal to 2 plus the quantity 3 plus 4. So, checking. Ito muna, this part. 2 plus 3 plus 4, using the GEMDAS, you have 5 plus 4. Then, you have 9. Ipadas tayo matjibangir. Let's have 2 plus 3 plus 4. Then, GEMDAS, yung nasa group muna, that's 7. So, 2 plus 7, that's 9. It's still the same. Kahit iba yung kagrupo niya, it's still the same. Same as true as the multiplication. So, this time we have open and close parentheses, or the quantity 4 times 3 times 5 is equal to 4 times the quantity 3 times 5. So let's do the checking and GEMDAS operation. And 4 times 3, it's 12 times 5. That's 12 times 5 is 16. Now 4 times 3 times 5, you multiply 3 and 5 first. So you have 15. So 4 times 15, you have 60. It's still the same. Kahit balik-balik-tarik ko lang yan, it's still the same on product. Take note that subtraction and division are not associative again. So, panunutan tayo lahat apa yang ang applicable to associative property, it is subtraction and division. So, let's have the distributive property. So, for example, you have oranges and you also have strawberries. And you want to double it. It is the same as doubling the orange plus doubling the strawberry. So distributive property says that when two numbers have been added or subtracted and then multiplied by a factor, the result will be the same when each number is multiplied by the factor and the products are then added or subtracted. Okay, so ito, A times the quantity B plus C equals A times B plus A times C na i-distribute. Take note of the letter A. It was distributed. That's why it is called distributive property. AB, kaya yun yung sagot. At AC, kaya yun yung sagot. Same as rule with subtraction. A times the quantity B minus C equals AB minus AC. Again, you distribute A and B, that's AB now. And then minus A times C, that's AC. So let's have examples for that. Okay, take note. 2 times the quantity 3 plus 4. It is the same as 2 times 7, which is 14, or 2 times 3, detan, and 2 times 4, detan. So 2 times 3, that's 8, add 6, and 2 times 4, that's 8. Therefore, 14 is equal to 14. Gets? So let's have another example. 5 times the quantity 8 minus 3. No, that Duma, other students will just subtract that. So you have 5 and then multiply it again by 5. So you have 25. But using the distributive property, you have to distribute 5. 5 times 8, that's 40. Then 5 times negative 3, that's 15. So 40 minus 15, that's 25. Still the same. Now the identity property. Identity property says that yung picture, yung apple na dagdagan ng wala, kaya original lang siya. Kas lang wala tayo, ti self-love mo. At din pinanayo na rin. I mean, di ka nagparetoken. Therefore, you are real. You are genuine like that. So, it's the real you, ganun. So, the additive identity states that the sum of any number and 0 is the given number. So, 0 is the additive identity. A plus 0 equals A, or in other books, A 0 plus A equals A. Examples, 4 plus 0, that's 4. The additive identity is 0. If you have negative 10 plus 0, the answer is still negative 10 because walang nagbago. 3, you have 99 plus 0 equals 99, still the same. Also, if you have 0 plus 10 equals 10, walang nagbago. How about if you have multiplication? 0 din ba kaya ang identity niya? Okay. So the multiplicative identity states that the product of any number and 1 is the given number, so that a times 1 equals a. 1 is the multiplicative identity. Kanina, 0 is the additive identity, 0. Multiplicative identity is 1. So that a times 1 equals a, or 1 times a equals a. Examples, 12 times 1, that's 12. It's still the same. Negative 32 times 1, it's negative 32. Number 3, have 1 times 99, it's still the same as 99. Now, let's proceed to the inverse property. The inverse property, for example, if you have this number line. A boy starting from negative 9 is walking through this direction, agpa right. And on the other hand, a girl starting from positive 9 is also going through this direction, agpa left. So, inverse. You can see in this picture the meaning of inverse already. Kasi they have opposite direction, they have opposite gender, and opposite all in all. So, in other words, when you say inverse, it's the opposite. Okay. Additive inverse. Proceed first to addition, states that the sum of any number and its additive inverse is 0. The additive inverse of a positive number is the negative of its number, that is a, plus the opposite of that, which is negative a, is 0. Dapat 0 jay samda. And then, the additive inverse of a negative number is the positive of the number, that is negative a, plus its opposite, which is positive a, equals 0. So let's have examples. 4 plus negative 4 equals 0. 4 is the given number and its additive inverse is negative 4. That's the opposite. So you will have 0. Also, if you have negative 10 as a given and its additive inverse is positive 10, if you add them, you have 0. Also in number 3, 99 plus negative 99, that's 0. They are additive inverse. Now let's proceed to the multiplication, the multiplicative inverse property. It says that the product of any number and its multiplicative inverse or reciprocal is 1. The multiplicative inverse of the number a is 1 over a. Baliktarin mo lang. We know that every whole number, or any natural number, its denominator is always 1. When we have a number 5, pag 5 lang ang makita, ano denominator na? Automatically, it's 1. So that the inverse of 5 is 1/5. Ganun. Ag binaliktad lang sisiwak. So that if you have a times 1 over a equals 1. And, or in other books, 1 over a times a equals 1. Commutative lang siya. Okay, so let's have this one. 12 times the inverse of 12 when it comes to multiplication, that's 1 over 12 equals 1. Di kayo matiktika ubing multiplication tayo tata, multiplicative inverse. Kaya nakasaon nga gaputa 12, the inverse, multiplicative inverse nun is negative 12. No, it should be its reciprocal. Additive inverse, that's when you have to tell if it is a positive or negative. But if it is a multiplicative inverse, you get the reciprocal. Do not be confused on that matter. So in number 2 example, you have negative 32. Now, your negative 32, akas makita mladta, it's just an integer. But we know that above it is 1. So, imaginarily 1. Therefore, if you get the reciprocal, you will have 1 over negative 32. So that if you multiply that 2, you have 1. Also, if we have 1 over 9, its inverse or reciprocal is 9 over 1 or simply 9. So we have 1. Also, if we have 2 over 7, its reciprocal is 7 over 2. Baliktad lang, sis. So that if you have 14 over 14, it is still or the same as 1. Okay. So let's try. Bonus, sis, bonus. Identify the property used in each of the statements below. What property is being portrayed by negative 4 times negative 1/4 equals 1? Katatapos lang yan, so dapat alam nyo. Also, ito. Inverse property. Okay, number 2, you have negative 3 times the quantity 5 plus 9 equals negative 3 times 5 plus negative 3 times 9. Take note, 3 is being distributed in that part, therefore, it is distributive property. And in number 3, 0 plus 3 equals 0. Walang nagbago because it has the identity property. Correct. In number 4, you have 5 times 6, which is 30, is equal to 6 times 5, which is also equal to 30. Take note, the order changed. Take note of the word order. When we say order, that is commutative property. Very good. In number 5, you have 100 plus 40 equals 140. What property is that? Do that we get real number plus another real number. The anak na could also a real number. So that's correct, sis. It's closure property. And in number 6, 5 plus 6, open and close parentheses, plus 1, or the quantity 5 plus 6 plus 1 equals 5 plus the quantity 6 plus 1. Take note of the groupings. When we say groupings, it talks about the associative property. Very good. Now, let's have your turn. Open your modules and do the activities assigned to you by your teacher. Thank you for watching and God bless you all. So that ends our lesson for today. I hope you learned something and I hope you enjoyed my class. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe and click the notification bell below for more updates and more videos. This is your teacher Aubrey signing off. Bye-bye!